Alright, come join Kyle, John and David as they go through what's on the playlist. Find out what's everyone's favourite at Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment. We have a few segments, to be honest. In and out points, no celebs and the gossip. Back in time where we talk about the big M's, coming attractions, what the cue. Quick checks, who'll be laughing? You abundantly. Welcome to Dual Redundancy.
Yes, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast where you can hear all latest in television, entertainment news with somebody else. Exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and a third one is
Kyle Bridger. I will say that I'm the butcher to John's mother's milk. He's always in charge of everything. To Dave's okay, I'll give you Huey.
okay.
You can be Huey. I almost gave you Homelander, but
Close one. Wait,
I almost gave you another type of mother's milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a gray hair? I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you plugged it from the wrong area.
Yeah, not doing that on the pod. Oh boy. I feel like it's gonna be a wild one. We've been off for a bit, so we have a lot of stuff, pent up and ready to just I don't know where I'm going with this. Yeah, it's been a bit. It's been a bit. We got a lot to catch up on, a lot to do. We got two huge premieres in the last week to talk about with House of the Dragon and The Boys. But we also have this first segment. John, what is it?
In and out points.
In, order out. In, order out. In,
This is in and out points. A couple of things to catch up on. This one was maybe last month, but it's something very interesting because we love talking about AI on this podcast. OpenAI has added a voice to ChatGPT, but unfortunately, said voice sounds a bit too close to a famous actress who voiced a very popular virtual assistant on the big screen. OpenAI has come under fire for the voice of Sky and how it resembles Scarlett Johansson. OpenAI's Sam Altman has denied the comparison and said, quote, "It's not her voice. It's not supposed to be. I'm sorry for the confusion. Clearly you think it is. People are going to have different opinions about how much voices sound alike, but we don't. It's not her voice." A little bit later on, we'll play said voices to get you guys' thoughts on that. But initially, what are your thoughts on this story? Because there's a lot of components. There's some more stuff from Scarlett Johansson to talk about. But overall, John, initial thoughts on this?
After hearing the voices, they sound similar. I'm not 100% convinced that it is her voice doing that training data, because if you think about how it sounds, and they're basing it off of her voice from the movie Her, which we'll discuss. I don't know if there's enough vocal lines in that movie to train an AI to be able to talk like that.
Well, I'll stop you a little bit there. So,
Yeah.
while it is the voice of an AI, they did hire an actress
Well, that's what I'm saying.
to do the voice. But the question is, did they tell the actress do a Scarlett Johansson, or
Does that matter?
That's a very
You know what I
tricky,
mean? Like,
tricky situation.
I don't know if they're saying, "Oh, we liked this sound. Can you do something similar?"
Yeah.
Is that legally distinct enough? Can you copyright someone's voice and performance in that way? I don't know. Obviously, the performance, yes, you can copyright the direct performance. But if you're not, if I'm famous, art styles. If I paint in the same style as somebody else, but it's me painting, I don't know if you can copyright. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, let's you make it seem like you're pretending that this, or
if
not
I'm
pretending,
marketing it as that, yes,
inferring
Yes.
that this is the voice of Scarlett Johansson
yes,
doing
and I
this.
think what it boils down to is, and I know we're going to discuss this in a minute, is he shot himself in the foot by tweeting the word "her."
Yeah,
And in reference to this. I think if he hadn't done that and had released the voice, they would have much better legal grounds to say, "Hey, we got a new voice actress. We wanted to sound similar." That's the end of the story. But saying that
he made the
calls
comparison.
he made the comparison. I think that calls into light that it is similar, and they're going to have to prove that they did not base it or use any of her voice on that. I think you could base it on her performance, but I don't think you can use any of her performance in the training. Is my opinion on how it works. I don't know how it actually works.
I mean, I gotta assume we did stuff all the time where, hey, we want this to sound like this certain person, and I mean they're doing it in Inside Out right now. Yeah. I mean, they have two actors doing the role that somebody, and I'm sure they wanted to sound very similar so that no one gets confused. So, I think what it comes down to is, did they use her whatever voice to,
supplement the training?
Yeah, supplement or create this vocal style that they have working for them. But this is this is the rabbit hole. This is the thing that we're going to be battling for eternity. I think at this point,
the strikes last year were very much about this, and I'm sure the next strikes will be very much about this. And yeah, it's going to completely change entertainment, but also the world. And
I mean, it's currently changing. I mean, there's been stories of like, oh, we'll just get AI to do that. Oh, we'll just get AI to. It's already here, and it's being used all the time.
Before the pod, I was talking with John. I'm like, can we just get Kyle as an AI? Like, do we need Kyle every week on the pod?
I've got 10 years of training, or not 10 years, but I got a bunch of years of training data on him. I mean, you say the word, we'll have it up by next week.
Yeah, you just have a lot of uhs and ums, and then yes. That'll be my analysis.
And you just yelling, we're back every once in a while.
We're back, baby. But yeah, so I want to go through a bunch of different things, and then we'll play the clip. We're all out of order tonight, but John, you mentioned it when Altman tweeted out the demo and said the word her. Big mistake. Yep. Big mistake. Don't do that. That makes a comparison. But Scarlett Johansson had a statement about this. So she released a statement from her side of the events and said, quote, it's a long one, so I'll read as much as I can here. But so, quote, last September, I received an offer from Sam Altman, who wanted to hire me to voice the current ChatGPT 4.0 system. He told me that he felt that by my voicing this system, I could bridge the gap between tech companies and creatives and help consumers to feel comfortable with the seismic shift concerning humans and AI. He said he felt that my voice would be comforting to people. After much consideration and for personal reasons, I declined the offer. 9 months later, my friends, family, and the general public all noted how much the newest system named Sky sounded like me. And then, as I said, he tweeted, said her, which is the title of the film. And then 2 days later, after the demo was released, Altman reached out again, seeing if she would reconsider. And before they could even connect, the full system was out there. And she has threatened some legal action. I believe they have pulled the Sky voice. But yeah, it's that makes things more complicated because it's like, we tried to get Scarlett Johansson. She said no. We got an actress who may have this, we don't know, may or may not have been told, do it like this. And then we tweeted out saying her. Like, you're trying to make that comparison. Like,
it's too close. I think this is a smoking gun for this guy because tried to get the actress. People say it sounds like her. It seems like he really wants her. And then all of a sudden, even if it's in the style, it's like, dude, this is too close. This is way too close.
You're giving too much evidence that it is based off that rather than there just being a comparison saying, oh, yeah, they're similar.
Yeah, exactly. We have a very quick clip. I believe I pulled it from a podcast, so it's very quick. So, there's not much to it, but this gives you a sense of these two voices. The first one will be from the movie Her. Second one is Sky.
KCRW sponsors include Stars, presenting the limited series.
I opened the whole thing. Hang on a second.
Yeah, hang on. That's what it's from. It's from KCRW, by the way.
Give me 1 second. I will pull it up.
It's all good.
I was like, that is not as soothing as I want it to be.
No.
Yeah, that was not a Scarlett Johansson voice, that's for sure. Oh man.
Sorry.
It's all
You're all
good.
good.
It's all good, John. We can cut this out. That's the beauty
Yes.
of
I
of
I
podcasting.
think I just exported the whole thing instead of the
It's
clip.
okay.
Give me
But
It's
one
okay.
second.
these I mean we have I'm assuming this is an AI image of Scarlett Johansson here, but
I think it probably I think it's from Black Widow, but then they
it
like
looks AI
but
generated.
I think they Photoshop the heck out of this. But
Yeah,
maybe
that's
it's AI.
crazy.
Like
All right. I
It
believe this
looks
is
like
it
an
here.
AI.
yeah,
Let's see.
It's gonna be so hard, dude.
already it
And the
is.
thing is, we keep feeding the machine. It's just
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
We're done. We are done.
Hang on a second.
I didn't get the red
Oh
memo
my
today.
gosh. It won't let me
Yeah,
play it.
you
Hang on.
should.
You guys should have let me
Should we
know.
just do impressions of the
Yeah.
characters?
Yeah, right.
It's all good. It's all good. Um,
Hello, John. Yeah, that's my impression.
Is that your Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah. Do they pull it off?
well, well, I
Okay.
will. Oh, you got it?
I think so.
Okay, let's try it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hi,
Nope.
Hi,
No, it's,
Oh, is it?
how you doing?
I'm well. How's everything with you?
Pretty good, actually. It's really nice to meet you.
And here is OpenAI's chatbot.
Hey, ChatGPT, I'm Mark. How are you?
Oh, Mark. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
again, not much to go off of, but
Ugh.
I think it's kind of close.
Yeah.
I think it's very close.
Yeah, I think it's very close too.
Yeah. And I
Could he get
listen,
away with saying it's in the style of that though? I mean, it's
I don't know, but like
I
the
don't-
tweet her to like
I
it's
know.
dude, like what are you doing? And
but you
I-
could say I wanted it in the style of the actress that does her.
yeah, I think, but then by asking, like, I tried to get the actress that did
Yeah.
that, and she
Yeah.
said no.
I know.
It's very complicated. There's this quick story I'll say. Like, I listened to another podcast. It might have been Hard Fork podcast, and they played like a longer segment, and pretty much like how this guy was using it, and he was and getting ready for like a job interview type thing. Maybe he was like put on like a hat or something, and because they were using the camera, like she was able to comment on his look for the interview and his appearance. And it was, first of all, it was so flirty. It was so like, it was getting awkward. I'm like, you two get a room already.
Oh
But like, it was
God.
just like putting on the hat. It's like, no, what are you wearing? That's so goofy. Like, take that off. Like, it was just like one of those things where it's like, this is too weird. This is very, like, it's
Yeah.
the movie. It's the movie her in real life.
Oh God.
Yeah. But
Dude, we go away for a month and you're making me freak out, man. You're making me freak out. This is like the next stage in our
yeah,
human
a lot
development.
happened in those 5 weeks.
I guess
A
so.
lot happened. Now I think we're able to move to our next in and out point. Now, while ScarJo, you know, is not going to be the voice of AI here. I think a good person that could be an AI voice, if they could get him, would be Michael C. Hall. He did great work on Dexter. That narration, he was so good on it. But then again, he might not have the time. He's going to be possibly busy doing VO work for Dexter Original Sin. Yeah, stretching on that one. Okay. The cast has been announced for this prequel series with Patrick Gibson playing the titular role, originally played by Michael C. Hall. Michael C. Hall is only an EP on this production, but my guess is he's going to probably do that voiceover a la Jim Parsons, Young Sheldon thing on this series. But we got our cast, we got our young Muppets here for Dexter Original Sin. John, are you excited for this new Dexter series?
Did we need this? Is my only question. I mean, is anyone saying, "Oh man, those 4 scenes they had from the show Dexter of him as a kid? What if that was 4 seasons? Yeah. Oh, dude, that would be great. We could see how his mind gets corrupted by the death of his mother or whatever. I don't remember what his origin story is at this point. It's been so long. Like, oh man, really?
I'm just not sure how this will work or why like so Dexter's obviously huge for Showtime. It's probably their biggest series. Like it's done so well for them. And the mini series that they did a few years ago, The New Blood, did really well for them. And I think it was like kind of posed as like this like Harrison spinoff. It's like, okay, yeah, Michael C. Hall's done, Dexter's done, but maybe if we do it with his kid and we can see the rise of that and the next generation type thing. But it's like people did not like the younger Dexter copy. They didn't like young Harrison. They were like, enough of this kid. Like he's a brat. No, pass. Isn't this like the same-ish thing? Like this isn't Michael C. Hall. This is a
Yeah.
younger Dexter. Like who? Sure, it's Dexter, but it's not really Dexter because I think Dexter is Michael C. Hall. Like they're together. They are the same thing. I don't know how this is gonna work. I mean, it's and then I think I was complaining to you, John, like so they casted other counterparts like for this series. Like they got a younger Deb, they got a younger Batista, LaGuardia,
Yep.
Masuka. They have them all. Except for Dokes. First of all, like where is Dokes? If you're gonna cast anyone, get Dokes on this thing. But they
Yeah.
have all the younger ones of Miami Metro. Like where they all happen to start at the same time. Like this is like the first day of work. I
They
saw in the
say
description he's like doing a forensic internship or something, but it's like they're all happen to start at the same exact time. Like it's like
it
a
was
weird.
it was bring your kid to work day. Harry brought Dexter in, and everyone
Yeah.
else brought their kids in, and this should be a show. No.
Yeah, it just seems like it's like a weird thing. It'd be like almost like a prequel of The Office, and like they all has happen to start on the same day or something. It's like it just seems too unbelievable. They're all different ages
Yeah,
and
yeah.
groups, and so yeah, like so from like the basic plot points, I don't get, but then also the casting, I don't get. I don't get any aspect of this other than oh, it has the Dexter IP, and that's it.
That's 2024.
Yeah,
That's all you
yeah.
need.
I mean, that's all I was gonna say is I think Paramount, Showtime, whatever, are hurting. They need something that maybe people recognize and want to come back to and watch. Let's slap Dexter on here and just move away from that as quickly as we can, or kind of move off into our own thing and make it its own, little side story as quick as we can. But I don't know. To me, it's like, how much can you beat this dead horse? I mean, Dexter, from what I hear, was already too long as it is, and
Yeah.
now we're adding some other stuff that I don't think anybody was asking for. I don't know if Dexter fans were like, "Hey, we want this." Um, I don't know. It just seems like a stab at IP, and we'll see if something can come out of it. I don't know how this works out for them, but I do like Christian Slater,
Yeah.
and you know,
Yes, yeah.
uh,
Christian Slater is going to be Dexter's dad, Harry,
okay,
which I'll point out. Christian Slater is actually 2 years older than James Remar was at the start of the original Dexter.
Of course.
So in this prequel series, the dad is old. I mean, at least they're close enough in age. And if I guess spoiler for Dexter, 2006 season one or whatever, but like, Dexter's dad's a ghost. So I mean, like, I guess like if he could stay that same age as he was throughout the whole series. I don't know. Like it's a weird situation, but yeah, no, I mean I like that part of it, and I'm curious to see how it works and maybe how they're gonna act like these characters. But like I just think like outside of like I mean, I love Michael C. Hall as Dexter, but like I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really care for Batista or LaGuardia or Masuka. Like I didn't care about any of those people.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, oh, now we get their origin story. It's like, okay, great. And we got enough of this origin story. Like, why couldn't we, if we're gonna do this series, take a pickup truck to Michael C. Hall's house, just dump all that money out on it, and just have him do it like he did in the original series, putting on a terrible wig and just pretending he's 20 years younger. Like,
oh my God, man.
you just pull a wig out of the prop department, slap it on Michael C. Hall. All right, young Dexter. Everyone else can be young.
He can stand on his knees so that he's a little shorter, and
Yeah.
we're good to go. It's already canon. Why are we going back on this?
Yeah.
That
or
is
AI.
wild.
Just get some-
AI,
Yeah.
But oh well. I guess we'll see if we check it out. If I have Paramount Plus, then maybe I'll check it out. Paramount Plus with Showtime or whatever it's called at this
If
point.
it's still around.
That's true. That's true. It almost wasn't. That could have been that. initially that was going to be an out point, that Skydance deal, but hey, it
Hmm.
didn't go through, so there's no news. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Um, well, we're going to end with an in-out point. It's been a wild week in the world of hot dogs. On Tuesday, it was announced that Joey Chestnut, Chestnut, who has won the eating competition a total of 16 times, is not allowed to compete this year at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest because of a deal he has with a Nathan's competitor. This deal is with Impossible Foods, and they have recently released a plant-based hot dog. And Nathan's all beef hot dogs will not stand for that. Who cares?
Wow. Yeah.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, you know, I guess like any company, they wouldn't really want their, spokespeople to have the be using another product or
Yeah.
whatever. It happens often in the press conferences for sports athletes. They'll have like a bottle of Powerade and they'll be sponsored by
Oh.
Gatorade, and so people have to come over and move the Powerade or move some other drink. It's the silliest
Turn the
thing.
label around or
Yeah.
like they scribble out the marker of the logo, like,
Yeah.
the little bit.
Yeah, it's
Scotch tape
stupid.
over
But
it.
what's unfortunate about this is like this guy is the maestro
Yeah.
of the hot dog eating contest, and we're not going to get to see it. And
Yeah.
I think another competitor I think retired. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't understand, like, who's like, I'm sure people will watch, but like, who's tuning in? Because this guy smokes everybody.
Yeah.
It's always like 70 hot dogs to like second place is
Mm,
like 15. It's like,
mm,
it's not even going to be a competition. Like, Kyle, we did a food eating competition. Maybe we should do it this year. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's possible. Like,
I think
uh,
he should. I think he should do it just live stream at the same time on
oh,
the Coney Island beach.
It just show them up,
yeah,
but
Yeah.
remote. Yeah.
that's a good
Yeah.
idea. That's a really good idea. Um, but it's just like, I get it. It's like this is a commercial pretty much for Nathan's and their hot dogs and stuff. But like, I think it's the Streisand effect, where if I got this like story right and this term right, back in the day, like there was something like Barbara Streisand, like these like photos of like her house and like with the coastline and stuff, and she did not want these out there. So
Mhm.
she did this big lawsuit. And because of this lawsuit, it got picked up. So then the pictures were like seen by everyone.
Yep.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's like with this, I don't think anyone knew that like
Yeah.
Joey Chestnut was working with this plant-based hot dog company. And if you just let him compete on the Nathan stage, is he really
Mm,
going to be like, yeah, those 70 Nathan's hot dogs were okay, but the real hot dogs, like he probably wouldn't have done that.
yeah.
So it's just like you now have created this like story in this whole thing because of like this very small thing that I don't think would have been a big deal at all.
Mm,
But
yeah.
um, but well, he's not doing the 4th of July competition. He's doing another one on Labor Day. The very next day after he was banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating competition, Netflix announced another live event coming September 2nd, Labor Day, where Joey Chestnut will face against his rival, the six-time champ Kobayashi, in a live event entitled Chestnut versus Kobayashi, Unfinished Beef. And yes, these hot dogs are all beef.
Mm.
There you go. It's coming to Netflix, Labor Day.
But I bet they can't use Nathan's.
They can't use
They
Nathan's.
gotta. What are they using? Sabrets? What are they?
I
What's
don't
the
know.
name? Ballpark?
Maybe they're looking for a sponsor. Maybe like you can reach out and
Yeah.
pitch, make some money off of this. But it's like this just it's like this drama is just it's just so like just funny and like just dumb and like I saw a Major League Eating. Yes, that's a real
Yeah.
Major League Eating
Hmm.
released a statement saying, quote, Joey was not banned, but that Joey chose not to compete in a contest the moment he chose to make an endorsement deal with one of Nathan's competitors. So
Mm.
he wasn't banned. He
It's a
chose not to
choice he
compete
made.
because he made a deal with a
Yeah.
different competitor. It's like
So
enough.
basically, they were saying he knew the consequences of doing this,
Yeah.
and he probably cashed. I mean, he
Yeah.
must have cashed out.
Yeah. Not only I don't know what Nathan's pays, but like instead of okay, maybe he lost that this year. but he has this endorsement deal with the plant-based hot dog. And then he got the Netflix money for this other live event where it's just like him and somebody else as the star. I'm sure he actually made money off of this. But
Who's eating a plant-based hot dog?
at that point,
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
vegetarians, I guess, really.
I know, but why not go for something else at that point? It's like, just go with the salad. Why are we going with this fake?
I could see that if I had to be vegan or vegetarian for like health reasons, how maybe I would be like, oh, I would love a hot dog. Like this is the closest thing I could possibly do.
But,
like, you know what I mean?
But
I don't
not
do hot
same.
dogs at all. Any plant, beef, nothing. No way. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Give me a burger any day.
Also, isn't there, this is just disgusting, but isn't there like a specified amount of rat feces that it's allowed in hot dogs per the FDA?
Yeah, the specified amount of bugs and like all the food that you consume. Like that's just the standard. Like I would hope that there's none, but
I'm gulping down microplastics right here, probably.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, right.
They should do a rat feces counter on the side of the hot dog. So it's like, how much rat feces did they consume along with the hot dogs? That is a wild event. If you do, anybody who lives around Coney Island, if you do get a chance to go watch it, it is a pretty interesting little people watching event.
How long has it been? Has it been like, I think it's almost been...
It's been a while now.
8 or 9 years, Kyle, since we went.
Yeah.
Is it analogous to that guy who ate the orange cheese balls in New York City a couple months ago?
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh, he had a whole event. We had like posters up, like just piece of paper taped up. And he had a huge crowd show up, and he had a mask on, and he ate one of those big bins of orange cheese balls. No, not me.
I was gonna say, somebody put a mask on. I think
no, not me. And like there was a crowd. They had like a camera crew out there, and people were filming. And he was like, he ate it all, and he was like, all right, same time next year, and then disappeared.
Interesting, Mom.
Well,
the cheese ball bandit.
You live long enough to see yourself become the hero, or whatever that saying is. I want somebody, it'd probably be me, but like after this podcast to take these like clips of just like what we've been talking about tonight with just like having Kyle say rat feces and like just the other random like non sequiturs. So and just like, what is this podcast? We take a couple weeks off
out
and
of
just
context.
becomes chaos. Like, okay. Let's get serious. Let's talk about what we came here to talk about tonight. We got 2 big premieres of 2 big shows to talk about. In order to talk about them, we have to go back, so send us back.
We're back, baby!
Baby! Gotta get back in time.
A little disappointed with that one, Kyle. I really thought we were going to get like a really elongated baby. It was more like a matter of fact, like, we're back, baby.
No, you got to sponsor me if you want.
Okay.
You got to sponsor me with Nathan's Hot Dogs if you want a longer. We're back.
Okay, I'll remember that. All right, we're talking about it. House of the Dragon, Season 2, big premiere, A Son for a Son. This series, set nearly 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, portrays the events leading up to the decline of House Targaryen, a devastating war of succession known as the Dance of the Dragons. All right, we all saw the premiere last night, June 16th. John, start us off. House of the Dragon.
I have to say, having not seen anything about this since the last episode we watched, I was a little lost. I mean, I think I got all the key points. Obviously, at the end, something major happened. I got that. But, you know, they mentioned somebody's name, and I'm like, who? Who's that? You know, can you show me a picture of them? Which side are they on? Maybe there's like a flow chart or something, an org chart. Like, can you just give me a little bit more of a hint? I don't even think, was there even a recap at the beginning? Like, I don't remember. So like, I was a little lost. I had a hard time identifying which name belonged to which person unless I saw them on screen and someone like said, oh, you know, blah blah blah, and talking to them. So that. And I think that was a major issue I had with the original Game of Thrones is there's a lot of names that are just kind of thrown out there. And sometimes there's a face associated with them, sometimes it's not. Sometimes they've been talking about somebody for 2 seasons and then they show up finally and you're like, oh, that's who they are? Like, you know, like So it's a little hard to follow, in my opinion. Other than that, I mean, it's Game of Thrones. They've got the CG down pretty well. They've got the drama down. They've got everything kind of squared away, unless they forget a foam cup on set or something. But it was all right. I'm not raring to go see another episode, but I'm sure I probably will see them all at some point.
Well, the thing, to talk about with like the names and stuff, where first of all the names are very similar in this series. Aegon, Aemon, like they're all very close. But then like the ones that are really close are all the kids. And in the first season, I mean, it happened with a lot of characters, but specifically with the kids, every 2 episodes they changed out the actors. So it's like as the kids grew up, it's like it was like different people every time to match the names that were already confusing enough. But I think I'm pretty good with this season so far because literally I had to do a rewatch and I did it like I realized like less than a week before. I'm like, oh crap, like that comes out Sunday. So like I literally watched those 10 episodes in like whatever 6 days to like get caught up before this. So I think I'm in a good spot with it. There's definitely stuff I'm missing. Obviously, as not a huge Game of Thrones fan, I'm still working my way through that I'm sure there's details that I don't fully, got and understand and stuff like that. But, you know, I think there was just, there was a huge moment at the end of season 1. And I feel like this episode was a lot of like table setting, a lot of reactions, the fallout from that moment until the very like final moment of this episode where the title gets its name and then it's like, okay, that was big. That was the thing. But I feel like a lot of the episode leading up to that was a lot of like, all right, we're setting the table. Like, here's what happened at the end. All right, we got to get this thing going. And so it took a little bit till we got to that final moment. But like, Kyle, what did you think of the premiere episode?
I mean, it's good to be back in this world. I enjoy the world that's been created. So that's fun. I was a little bit like John. I kind of understood the overarching, situations happening, but the names are really, really tough for me to get. And I feel like it doesn't help us. Like, let's start in Winterfell because, hey, we recognize Winterfell, but like, I'm like, who are these two people?
I didn't know
Why are they associated with them right now? Like, I think it's doing a disservice to start us off there. But all the other stuff, I think, we're just setting it up. We're seeing what's happening. There's a couple of scenes where I'm like, I don't know what they're trying to get at. Yeah, obviously we'll have to see more, but like, I don't know what's happening with the Lord Corlys dude and his ships. I'm like, we had a scene. It seems like there's something going on with this dude that saved him. But we don't really know the full scope there. I really think sorry.
No, I was gonna say I think there's some sort of blockade going on.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he's like fighting that or if he's defending that blockade, but I think it has something to do with that.
Yeah. And I really think the green the queen there.
Alicent?
What is her name again?
I think it's Alicent.
Alicent, yeah. I think she's gonna find herself in she's got problems all around her. I mean, she's for lack of a better term, she's banging the night there. And then she's dealing with 2 kids that are just on the verge of, at any second, you don't know what their moods are like. And then you've got this conniving Kane dude that I think would just sooner flip on her in an instant. And he's kind of set himself up to do that by saying, I personally have accounted for all the staff here taking for you. So I think she's in a very tough spot right now.
Yeah, she definitely had a busy episode. She also got busy with Kristen or whatever's multiple times there.
Yeah. But never again. It can't happen ever again.
But yeah, this guy also is like, oh, I'm so pure. Like in the first season with Rhaenyra, I'm so pure. That can never happen again. And now this time it's just like, all right, been 6 hours. Let's, it's just like, So he's such a conflicting person, but discovered at the end by her daughter that like, came into the room. Like they're also not very secretive with this at all. Like it's just like anyone could just barge into the room and there they
Yeah.
are. But yeah. So while it was a very busy episode for her, the other queen, Rhaenyra, wasn't, too it didn't have too much to do.
One line. That's
One
what they
line in the
said.
full episode, I believe. And yeah, like it was
Yeah.
just pretty much telling her team that she wants Aemond. And that was it because she was grieving the whole time and dealing with the death of her son from the events of the season one finale.
Hmm.
And just because it's a House of Dragon podcast, I gotta say my thoughts. Great actress, but for me, I have a hard time with this portrayal. I loved the original Rhaenyra.
Hmm.
I just think like there was so much more like charisma, more like just attitude, and I maybe it's just because you know, the older Rhaenyra has been like hardened by
Hmm.
life and wronged and stuff, but it's like there's no fun. Obviously,
Hmm.
none in this episode because there was never going to be in this episode. But even like, the second half of season one, it's just like there's no life. There's just like
Hmm.
nothing. And it's like, is this the same person? And I feel like there's
Hmm.
so many other of the actors that like, hey, this is pretty close from, this one
Yeah.
is the same person as
Yeah.
that one. Like and I just feel like there's a disconnect between these two. And maybe it's because like, we're the first 5, 6 episodes of season one, we were with these characters. So these were our people. And then it's like you grew attached to them.
Hmm.
And it's like, oh, where are they? They're gone now. They're never
Yeah.
coming back. Oh, this is who we have. It's like,
Yeah, I do remember that transition being very
yeah,
yeah, very hard because the original actress was very, very good. She
yeah.
was very, very good. Yeah.
Um, one person I like so far is King Aegon. He's so bad at his job.
Yeah.
He's just so bad at it, and it's like it's not like he's Joffrey, like he's not like a psycho,
Hmm.
but like he's just funny, like he
Yeah.
because he actually wants to help people.
Hmm.
And there's just so much more like complications to that. It's like, oh, actually, you
Yeah.
can't do that because we need that for this. He's like, so it's like he's trying, but like he's
Yeah.
just not good at it. Like,
Yeah. To be
yeah,
fair, if I was him, I would have been like, shouldn't I know this information
yeah.
before I start
Yeah.
meeting with these people? Like, what the hell, man?
He really was thrown to the wolves on that. But
Yeah.
yeah, but no, that's so he's fun so far, and obviously, like when he brought his kid to the council meeting and offering him pony ride and stuff, they're almost a little bit of. We'll get to it in a little bit of Homelander of just like, hey, I'm the king and
Yeah.
I can make you guys do whatever I
Yeah.
want in these
Yeah.
meetings.
Well, that's
But
what I mean. That whole kind of family has that vibe to it,
yeah,
you know, between Rhaenyra and they're all kind of affiliated with each other and they all have that vibe to them.
yeah.
So on any whim that they have, you're worried, and the fact that they control the dragons. I mean, that's the power that they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
no.
it seems interesting that the knight and Aemon are kind of working behind the scenes,
Mm.
but he doesn't really seem to fill in Allison with the what's happening with her son. So it's a weird one.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Yeah. Yeah. And also just like when we were saying like, oh, the son, it's like, oh yeah, because like there's so many times where it's like, well, yeah, his wife is sister, but it's also the daughter. Like there's so much like it's like all the same family
Yeah.
relation in this
Yeah.
family that's hard to keep track of who's who. But like, you know, I guess yeah, it's like for like the king, whose sister I believe is his
Yeah.
wife, who has
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
kids with. We have this big moment at the end,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was like really shocked. I think just like with the lack of security going on in this castle here, where these two
Mm.
assassins, sure, like one is part of like the city watch or whatever, but like can just walk around, be by the king in the Iron Throne room. Those soldiers like, hey, what are you doing? Just walking through. They go
Mm.
up to, was it Jahaira's quarters with the two kids. It's just like these two can just like Rhaenyra and Damon and all these people are so pissed off and are going to kill all of you. But you could just have these other people just walk around leisurely through the thing. And
Mm.
you know, that's we get this moment at the end here where these two assassins, go there. See, there's two kids in cribs. Which one is the son? And I really thought, I couldn't tell at first. Is she doing like reverse psychology? Is it
Mhm.
reverse psychology? Like, what's going on here? And I think they even like picked up on it. It's like, no, that is the right one, and
Mm.
they picked the one. I mean, we didn't see much of it, thankfully, but you heard it for sure. Very gruesome. Um, and she confirms when she runs into her mother, yeah, her mother's room. Um, yeah, it was the son that was killed, and this just now really the start of this war. If already there wasn't a war, now both sides have lost a son on both
Yeah,
sides. So
I was thinking about this, and tell me what you guys think. I mean, when Damon assigns these two or offers them this thing,
yeah,
he knows that Eamon is like highly skilled technically with a sword and everything. I don't think that he thought this plan was actually going to work.
mm,
Because why
interesting.
would you think you're just asking two randos basically to try and attempt to assassinate like a well-known protected noble? Like I just don't think in
He had a
reality,
lot of
I don't think
faith.
that
Yeah.
plan is ever going to work. I think the idea more is like, oh, we're still coming for you and we have our ways to reach you. Even if this plan doesn't work, like, know that
You'll
we can
know.
do this at any time.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I
Yeah,
think
maybe.
it's more of that because I don't really think I wouldn't anticipate, hey, that I hired some backroom hitman at a brothel to pull this off. Like I just don't think that's possible. But I think if you want to scare them and know that, hey, we can infiltrate your castle at any time, there's something to that.
Yeah, almost like, maybe not the same thing, but a little bit almost like the end of season one where, they were on the dragons and they were kind of like,
Mm,
haha, this is, and then like when the one dragon acts up and like actually, you know, bites the other dragon and kills the kid, where then the other rider's like, what the heck? Oh no, like, like
yeah.
that wasn't supposed to
Yeah.
happen kind of thing. It's just
Mm,
like, yeah, we were just, kind of like, haha, I got you, haha, like,
mm.
and it was like, no, like, no, this is real now. Like this, and like, yeah, we'll see what happens in the reactions next week when, yeah, it's a son for a son. Now both sides have lost somebody. This war is definitely on. Curious to how long it's gonna last. I mean, just with the show, I mean, it's been renewed for season three. Like, with it being a prequel, there is sort of a end date to this. Um, I don't know. Like, if I worry that anytime when there's a conflict with two sides, we can talk a little bit about it soon with the boys. Like, how long can you pull this off here, like, without
Mm,
losing some of the major players? You know,
mm.
like you can't just keep going. Rhaenyra, Allison, Damon. Like, it's like you can't just have like those three the entire series,
Well,
just back and forth and killing off all the like red
yeah,
shirts, literally. But
yeah. I mean, it sounds like the hands time might be through pretty quickly.
mm,
I don't know how many people want that guy around still. I think that
yeah,
too many people are vying for power, and he's been there the longest. And I don't think like the king necessarily likes him. He listens to him because of Allison, but I don't. I think if I don't know how long he's gonna last.
yeah. We have to wait and see. I know John said he's gonna check it out here and there. But Kyle, are you gonna be continue watching?
Yeah, I do enjoy it. I like being in that world. I like the world they've created, and it's still a good
Yeah.
story. But yeah,
Yeah, and it's fun like to have like
yeah.
yeah, like that 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday night show. People are watching, it's like
Mm-hmm.
you're part of the moment. But
Mm-hmm.
all right. We got one other show to talk about. Had its premiere this past week too, and that's The Boys. Season 4 premiere, Department of Dirty Tricks. Now, 3 episodes dropped on June 13th. John and I have seen one episode. Kyle, how many of the three have you seen?
I've seen all three.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
Yes.
A plus this week.
Thanks.
But we'll mostly talk about the first episode. Maybe, Kyle will do some little extra at the end there.
Mm.
But This season, taking place 6 months after the events of season three, shows Victoria Newman closer than ever to the Oval Office and under the control of Homelander, who's consolidating his power. And with only months to live, Billy Butcher must find a way to work with the boys who are fed up with his lies if they want to save the world before it's too late. A lot going on. It's been a long 2 years. Now, this one for me, maybe I should have rewatched this one.
Mm.
This was hard to get back in because I remembering all the details of this, it was tough. And especially I was like, who's with Newman,
Mm-hmm.
seemingly with Huey and against
Mm-hmm.
Homelander, but then then the show shows Huey pouring acid on her, and but she's not worried about it. And then Butcher shoots her. It's like, wait, whose side is what? And yeah, she doesn't like Homelander, or at least not, for her campaign. So it was like it was very hard to like get back in, like who's on whose side exactly, and
Mm-hmm.
who knows what information. So I probably should have caught up on that. But Kyle, did you have the same issue? What did you think of the premiere? What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah. Both shows. It's been too long. It's hard to get back into the flow of the shows, and same thing with Victoria Newman. I'm like, I don't know why she's kind of scared of Homelander at this point now. Um, yeah, and the fact that she's VP to a president that the president knows about her,
Yeah.
and the president is working with the team to try and get her out is just such a weird thing. But then, I mean, toward the end, right, we see her with Huey being like, Huey has something blackmail on her. So yeah, it's hard to get back in. I'm the same for both shows with me.
Yeah. Yeah, so I completely agree. It's just like I these shows can't keep taking 2, 3 years off. Like
Yeah.
I need like maybe it's my just attention span. Like I need it closer together. It's just so hopefully it's like yeah, hopefully they're already working on five so we can get season five next year. But
Mm.
John, what did you think of the premiere?
Yeah, I think in general I enjoyed it. I agree there was a little bit of who's doing what, but I think that is also a little bit on purpose. Just showing that how the lines are blurred between the teams and all that.
Mm.
I enjoyed the episode. This is one of those shows where they always are like not one-upping themselves, but there's always a little bit more going on in here. I mean, you had a couple scenes, and I don't want to spoil too much, where somebody basically like splat on the ground and then started reconstructing, or like the very last thing where Butcher sends the attachment to what's her name. It's just like stuff like that. It's just like always funny and interesting to see. But,
Yeah.
so I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing some more. I do wonder why they are doing this week to week when things like Fallout they didn't do week to
Yeah.
week. So it's a little bit strange, but I think as much as I want to watch them all right now, the week to week is a better overall experience.
Oh, definitely, and especially for like a show like this, there's something to look forward to. It can build buzz, momentum. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think it was season one, I believe they did all at once. And then when season two rolled around, because it was such a big hit, that's when they did this like 3 episodes and then one a week. And I remember the fans being so pissed off that like they like bombed the reviews
Mhm.
of it or whatever, and were like, giving a
Yep.
low rating because of the release strategy, which is just dumb. Like,
Dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you can binge it all you want. Just wait, whatever, 7 weeks and watch it
Yeah.
all at once. Like
Yeah.
whatever. But no, yeah. I mean, this one's definitely up in the ante already in this premiere. It's just so dark. The stuff with Homelander. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, we joked at the beginning. He's getting old, having his own like midlife crisis in a way. He's got all this power he's always wanted, but he's still not happy.
Well,
And
he's
like
got a bunch of yes men around him. So now
exactly.
he
Yeah.
can't trust anybody around him because he's got a
Can't
bunch
trust
of yes
anyone
men.
around him. He saves people, they cheer. He kills people, they cheer. It's all
Mm-hmm.
meaningless. Like he's really going through a lot. And I guess that's the scariest part is like, yeah, okay, like let's see what I can get away with. I can see if I can ask my team members to do these crazy things during meetings. Or
Mm-hmm.
later on at the end of the episode, which we'll get to, it's like, yeah, maybe they can just, kill these people for me. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the bar? Like, what will these people not do? Which
Mm-hmm.
is very, very scary. And he's on trial in this episode, for the attack that he had, for attacking the protester at the end of last season. It's a not guilty verdict. And in this conflict that we get after this, after the verdict, I think is going to be the kind of story of the season of like, I think it's going to be a very political season.
Mm-hmm.
He asked 18 or A Train, Deep and Noir to beat up like kind of three of the biggest Homelander fans,
Mm-hmm.
with bats, and they dropped those bodies off at this protest after a disguised Sister Sage um, starts a conflict from the Starlight side. So it makes it seem like, look at these two sides, like going against each other, and the Patriots and there's obviously a clear comparison of Homelander this season. And that's where like I worry a little bit too much of this show and how much it's going to be like on the nose of
Mm-hmm.
politics and what's going on. Because like I feel like they do really good the show like picking on Hollywood and superhero culture and like the MCU and like all those like corporation
Mm-hmm.
type things. They do a really good job with that. But I don't know if they we'll see. But I feel like sometimes with the politics of it all, I feel like it's anytime when you satirize politics, especially in the world now, it's really, really, really hard. I mean, we saw it like in the final seasons of Veep, where like Veep was doing so well, and then like that final season was around the time of 2016, and it's like, yeah, like the world is so crazy that what you are doing now you have to go way above, and
Mm-hmm.
like you can't do the same thing. And I feel like we're doing like the same thing. Like there's so many comparisons already. We're seeing the trial, the two sides, Fox News of it all, calling the protester a pedophile, and
Mm-hmm.
even having the catheter commercials in between segments. It's like it's so
Mm-hmm.
on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't know, for satire and something, you gotta like up the ante. And I don't know if I want to up the ante because already the world is scary enough. But like what could now you have a superhero, you know, that's even scarier. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I just am curious to see how they're gonna walk that line of satire this season. But
Mm.
yeah,
We also, I mean, we have the thing with Homelander and his son. It
yeah,
seems like all the power he has is going to alienate the people around him. We already have kind of A Train is kind of questioning this stuff. His son seems to not be as, down with hurting people as Homelander is, and Homelander's
yeah,
just like, dude, they're just like playthings, like
yeah,
they're our pets basically that we can do whatever we want with them. And his son doesn't really seem to have that um same kind of I guess sadistic quality to him. So, but it's still his son's like on that razor's
yeah,
edge where he seemingly has or could have more power than Homelander. Is he going to be able to use it for good? Is he going to turn bad? Is he going to be the ultimate villain?
yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be one to look out for. Victoria Newman, I still don't know how she's going to be playing a major part in this too.
yeah. If
Uh,
she gets selected, I mean, it's
yeah,
all over.
yeah.
Like,
So she's going to be playing a big role, I think. There's a couple of problems I have, or just questions about the story.
yeah,
I think the the thing with the mother's milk's daughter's like
yeah,
stepdad there or whatever. I felt like that was shoehorned in to kind of the fact that he turned
yeah,
this like Homelanders that just seemed so shoehorned in that he went from like this family man to all of a sudden now he's like this Homelander fan to the max. It was just too, I guess, on the nose, as you would say, or like it just felt like hamstrung in there. Like they just like kind
yeah,
of, it didn't vibe with what was happening. I mean, they kind of said they were kind of pushing it along that
yeah.
way, but I just felt like
No,
too much.
I hear you, and that was one of my notes I have where it's like I'm not sure I need all the side characters subplots.
Yeah.
They're fine in the group, but I don't need like the episodes are long enough. Like
Yeah.
they're already over an hour. And sure, I got the stuff with Butcher and Homelander and that son triangle. Okay, that's yeah. Huey and his dad. Okay,
Dad and
sure.
mom.
It's like
Yeah.
the stuff with the seven, the Vought. Like there's so much stuff
Yeah.
going on. I don't need yeah, like the mother's milk stepdaughter.
Yeah.
It's like I don't need that. Like
Yeah.
it's so extra. Like
Yeah. And also the other one that I thought, because I don't ever think they alluded to it in previous seasons, was like, wait, Frenchie's bisexual? I thought that the vibe was him and Kimiko, and
mm,
they like shut that down, and now he's got this other thing. Like, not
yeah,
against that, not, but it just felt like it came out of left field for me. Like,
yeah.
if like they had did they allude to it at any point, or just like
I'm not sure. It's been
I
so
always
long.
felt like there was a connection between Kimiko and
Oh,
him,
definitely, yeah.
but
Mhm.
maybe that was not sexual attraction, but just like two people bonding. But that is how the vibe of the show felt. And I felt like they just kind of like, whoop, nope, he's by now, and bang, let's just drop this in here. It just felt like a little bit that, and that one character becoming a Homelander fan out the wazoo just felt too
Yeah.
convenient. Like, just we just pop it in there, and we didn't do any real work for it.
No, I totally agree with those points. Yeah, like the subplots just yeah, felt like added on
Mm,
like just to add more to the episode where you already have so much going on. You have new characters, with Sister Sage, maybe possibly joining the Seven, it looks like.
mm,
I want to, I've been teasing it for the last 2 years, like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's here. I want to see him. And we got
yeah.
like such a little thing in the premiere episode. I want more. I want to see how he, interacts in this world and, with the whole group.
Guess
Uh,
what? Not much.
that's
Not much in
really,
the first three episodes.
oh
No.
my God.
I think he has one scene.
You have Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Like,
I
give
know.
me some of him. I don't need the mother's milk stepdaughters,
Yeah.
stepdad. Like oh man. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just hoping that this season. Like not, as much as I love the character of Homelander, like we gotta shake things up a little bit. Like I'm curious. We have to if every season's gonna be, oh, the boys gotta figure out a way to get Homelander. Oh, it's the
Yeah.
finale. We have him cornered. Oh, he gets away.
Mm,
Okay, next season. I'm like, we gotta, and at least they announced the final season, so there's an end date in mind. Hopefully, that really pushes the stakes, gets things going. But then again, there's always spin-offs, and it's like this like funny thing with the boys where it's like what the boys season one was making fun of like the MCU and the spin-offs and the video games and the TV shows. I was like, that is like them now. It's like this
mm-hmm.
weird thing where it's like they got the animated series, they got the Gen V series, they got the boys Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
in development. Like they have so many extra things where it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's such a big franchise for them. Of course they're gonna do it, but like it's just
Yeah.
like funny where it's just like the thing you guys are making fun of is what you have now become. But
Yeah.
But I think that's also one of the tropes
yeah,
of all these things. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah. It's like yeah, like that Jump Street, 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, like them
Mm-hmm.
commenting on like their whole success and franchise and stuff.
Can
But
I can
yeah,
I ask one question?
yeah,
Victoria Newman's daughter, right?
yes,
Butcher's been taking this syringe stuff
yes,
that basically is poisoning him, but
yeah,
it turns him into a soup.
yeah.
Now, why didn't her daughter have the same effect? Was it a different
yeah. There's a
thing?
difference between the temp V and
Cocktail?
the There's the temp V, which is what Butcher and Huey were
Okay.
taking, and I think there's the actual V or whatever the stuff is that
All right.
when you're a child turns you into a soup. I believe
Okay.
is what it is.
Yeah, because the one that like Butcher was taking was like the one that they were gonna like mass produce and like market out and stuff,
Yeah.
I
And
think.
sell for
Yeah,
temporary. Yeah.
yeah. But
Well,
yeah, and that's a
yeah.
whole other thing. I mean, Butcher has a ticking time clock here.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, how much longer he has to live. So that
Which
make that, yeah,
I love Butcher's character. He might be my favorite character. It's gonna suck if he dies.
yeah. But yeah, it adds that stakes or it gives him like something where it's like, I'll do whatever the f I want now because
Yeah.
what am I, you know, I have a ticking clock. Like I'm gonna,
Mm,
be a little bit more dangerous and really take on Homelander as already he was, brave enough. He's gonna be even more now, I think. But
mm.
yeah, so we'll definitely keep, watching more. We got, an episode a week dropping. I'm sure later this summer we can talk about the finale and how it wraps up and, gear up for the final season in 2, 3 years. Who knows when that will
Mm.
come. But yeah, that is it for this week. We had a lot to get through, a lot to catch up on. We were off for a few weeks and we're gonna be off for another, couple weeks. It's the summer. We jump around a bit. We all have vacations and stuff like that, but we're gonna be back in July with the next live show. Some of the things we could talk about is The Bear. That's coming back, season 3. I think in like the time that like The Bear has released like 3 seasons, like, you know, all these other shows can't even release one season. Like I know it's a different
Mm-hmm.
thing, but I think there was like Severance season 1, 3 seasons of The Bear, and then maybe Severance season 2. It's just like
Yeah.
wild, but. We'll talk about that. And then, yeah, the Emmys. The Emmys will have our nominations in July. We'll definitely break down those and react to them like we do every year. In the meantime, though, if you're looking for something to listen to, this month is the 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters. And John and I did a little something special. It was in your podcast feeds a week or two ago, where we listened to our 30th anniversary podcast special. And we commented on what we got right, wrong, stuff like that. So it's a little update at the top of the show from this year, from what we talked about 10 years ago for a movie that is now 40 years old. So you can listen to that and if you like those movie podcasts, it's the summer blockbuster season. We celebrate so many movies. Ferris Bueller, Back to the Future, Die Hard, those all have anniversaries this month. So definitely check those out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the blog, doordynasty.com, and of course on Twitch, twitch.tv/doordynasty. We are live on Twitch and on YouTube. Check that out. And you can follow us on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok at Do Redundancy. I got to thank both of you guys for joining me tonight a little bit later than we normally do. But couldn't do it without you guys. John for directing the show, putting it up on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and YouTube, all that. Thank you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. Until next time, I'm David Allen.
I'm John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Dual Redundancy. Goodbye, everybody.